It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
In the criminal justice system, sexually-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
Because I don't have an image to uphold, it'll be in a lot of motherfuckers' best interest to just not speak on me, because we all know when I put shit on the forefront, I put everybody's business out there, including mine. In all honesty, since I left off Southern Campus, I have not spoke on this situation since. But since women my mother's age would like to antagonize me about a situation that happened damn near 5 years ago, let's just speak on it. And since everything I'm finna say is a fact, I'm using real names. When I first started my freshman year on campus, I was literally in a transitional stage for me, or so I thought. I felt like I had been living my life for everybody around me for so many years that I was consumed with everybody else's personality. So this was my fresh start. Like, I could go out here and be myself and nobody will know the difference. That was my thought process. Well, that ship quickly sank when Micaiah introduced me to her friends that she made on campus as Tim T, with a whole bunch of adjectives to describe who Tim T was. Mind you, me and Micaiah went to high school together, so we knew of each other already. Nevertheless, when she finally introduced me to the girls, she introduced me as the person she knew, or so she thought. She went on to tell these girls that I was having money, Mind you, as a kid, you don't have any money, your parents do. Me and my parents weren't exactly seeing eye to eye, so I already knew that was going to be a difficult part for me to uphold because I wasn't having any money. When she introduced me the way she chose to introduce me, it was kind of like a fuck moment. Like, damn, like, why would you do this right now? But it wasn't like I was mad at her for doing it, because it wasn't her fault. She introduced me as she knew me. It wasn't her fault that my situation was what it was at that point in my life. With that being said, now I'm in a completely new setting. I don't know anything about Baton Rouge, but here I am, and I'm ready, and I was happy as hell. Out of all the girls she introduced me to, I took a liking to one, with that being Jada. Now, I had my own reasons for taking a liking to Jada, but with one being that she was authentically herself. She was lit as hell. She was always down to have fun. But most importantly, she was a hustler. This girl was about her money. Okay, so cool. Me and Jada got real cool, and we started doing everything together when we wasn't in class. She later introduced me to Kai, and me and Kai, me and him just ended up becoming best friends. We did everything together. At nighttime, me, Kai, and Jada would literally get in my car, because out of the whole little friend group, me and Micaiah had cars. Kai lived in Baton Rouge already, so of course he had his car, but yeah, that's a different story for a different day. We would go on these little adventures at night where, since I wasn't from Baton Rouge, I used to just explore the city. Like, I was trying to get more familiar with the areas without a GPS. So every night we would go on these adventures, and sometimes we would even end up in other cities. One night in particular, we went way to New Orleans. Now, this is the part of the story where I want everybody to pay attention. Grab your popcorn, get you a chair, take you a seat. Now, because I used to get up and leave campus late at night, I had the privilege of knowing the security guards, because I seen them just there frequently. Now, with this one in particular, because he used to flirt with me all the time, Adrian McNeely. Keep that name in mind, because this is where the story gets good. With that being said, a few weeks in, we start communicating via text, phone, and whenever he would be on campus, we would meet at specific points on campus and chop it up. Now, he seemed to be a cool little fuck in the beginning. He was sweet, he wasn't overbearing, and he was respectful. At this point, we had been fucking around for a little minute. We decided we was going to engage in sexual activities. After we had sex together for the first few times, I'm like, yeah, this shit ain't gonna work. Like, it's not for me. For one, it wasn't big enough. That's just what it was. So I started trying to figure out ways to, go ahead and tell him, like, yeah, no. But instead of just telling him something, I just stopped communicating. Like, I stopped texting back, stopped responding. That was that. Mind you, at this point, me and Jada are no longer friends. She then went ahead and asked him to get her a new room. So my room is just me in this room. I got both of the beds pushed together. It's literally like a small studio apartment. That's the setup now. At this point, I was working as well. I had got a job at the McDonald's in Central, which was not that far from the school. When I got off this night and got to the guard shack, nobody was at the guard shack, which was weird to me because I had been closing that whole week and somebody was always there. I didn't think nothing of it. I went on ahead. I lived in Bradford, so I went to Bradford. When I got to Bradford, mind you, I didn't have a roommate. I was in this room by myself. When I got to the door, something just told me somebody's in this fucking room. So I'm like, damn, that it gave me a roommate. Did not sign another roommate. Bitch, why this man done use his police keys, his security keys, whatever keys he got for the campus to get in my room? Like, he's inside my room. And the first thing he asked me is, why you not responding? Why you not texting back? Da da da. So now I'm pissed. I'm furious. I instantly started going off. I'm like, what the fuck you doing in my room? Like, how did you even get in here? Who let you in here? Do anybody know you in here? He instantly started trying to tell me to shut up. I'm being too loud. I'm going to draw too much attention. All right, cool. The ball in your court. Mind y'all, I told y'all, me and my parents were not on the best of terms. And I needed a financial payout to get me where I was trying to go. But I wasn't even going to trip. I was going to take my L. This is what he fucked up at. I was going to take my L, but this is what he fucked up at. When he put his clothes back on to leave out my dorm room, when he got to the dorm room door, he opened it, then he looked back at me. He said, I don't give a fuck because I'm married anyway. Then he proceeded to walk out the door, but he did not close my room door. He left my shit open. That was his way of being disrespectful. When he left, my mind got to working like, oh, this is what we doing. Now, that night, what I did was I started lurking through his social sites trying to find the wife. Mind y'all, I was broke. I hadn't even got my first check yet. So I had literally just started working this job. So in my mind, I'm thinking, you got to figure out how the fuck to make this work for you. That same night as I'm laying in the bed scrolling through his social medias trying to find his wife's social medias, I go ahead and book me a room at the Embassy Suites off Constitutional for 4 days and 4 nights. So when I left campus the next day, I didn't go to none of my classes the next day. But when I left campus the next day, I had a suitcase and some personal belongings, and I went directly to the hotel once I left school. When I went to the hotel, I ended up having to sit in the lobby for like 3-4 hours because I couldn't check in until 3 o'clock. They literally made me wait until 3 o'clock. Mind y'all, when I was ready to stop communicating with this man, I just stopped texting back. That was that. So he had been texting my phone saying all type of little slick shit, and then he showed up at the dorm room. So now, this not the first time we done fucked. So now my mind is really, I done came up with my plan, and this T is fucked to me because, hey, I was only 18 at the time. Now, when I finally checked in the hotel room, I knew for a fact that I wasn't leaving that hotel room for 4 days. I was going to stay there them whole 4 days. That was the only way I could prove my point. That Thursday evening, I decided to text his wife on Facebook because I had already found her Facebook. I text her ass on Facebook because he was still texting my phone. What I did was I sent screenshots to Beth, which is his wife. I sent her pictures, screenshots, videos, you name it. Everything he was sending to my phone, I sent to her shit, including pictures of his private areas. So, of course, this lady knew this was her man. She instantly get to saying, call me, like, sent me her number, like, call me. After I sent her the picture, screenshots, and videos and stuff, when she sent me her number, for one, I didn't respond back to her right then. I gave her time to communicate the fact that I had made my grand entrance to her husband. Now, once he got back on my phone, I had news for that ass, too. He get on my phone, why you go calling my wife, da 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 da. You ain't have to do all that, I'll stop, I swear to God, just leave it alone. Oh, really? That's what it took for you to say you would stop. Me not texting you back wasn't good enough, but you can come in my dorm room, da da da. So fuck that. I say it's too late for that, G. I'm pregnant. Yeah, I'm what? We got a baby on the way. That's exactly what I told him, real shit. He instantly started fumbling, stuttering over his words, all type of shit. Telling me we need to meet up and talk, asking me what I'm gonna do. And now that I done told him I'm pregnant, the ball ain't in his court no more. It's in mine. Few hours later, he was on campus. I don't even think he was scheduled to work that day. But he showed up in uniform, da-da-da, trying to find me. So we finally end up meeting up to communicate. When we communicate, I basically tell him you can either come up with that abortion money sink or we finna have a baby. Like any married man would. He coughed up them coins I was asking for. But I wasn't gonna stop there. It wasn't enough. Now it was time for me to initially call that wife, like she asked me to. So I got her on the phone. Of course, she going through 21 questions. She asking me 1,000 questions, da 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 da. I'm answering them bitches like it ain't nothing. Then come to find out the money that he gave me for the abortion wasn't his money, it was her money. So she get to ask for the money back. Me and the girls I'm hanging with in the dorm that I live in, we is josing off this shit because I'm not giving you the money back, bitch. I'm not giving you the money back. I go ahead, I'm on the phone with her already. I go ahead and tell her, well, y'all should probably start figuring out y'all livelihoods because I'm telling his job come tomorrow because I have got to get back in school. Like, I've been dodging school for 4 days since he broke in my dorm room. Mind you, it's Friday or Saturday now because I booked the hotel that Monday. Damn. I left that motherfucker that Thursday. Friday and Saturday, I was too busy getting my coins from him. Well, they must have thought I was calling their bluff because they kept saying, you ain't got to tell his job, don't tell his job, he'll leave you alone, da da da. Fuck that. I went straight on over to housing. I made them aware of the situation. I told them everything from start to finish, from the first time we fucked up until the time he broke in my damn dorm room. After I told them that, they launched a full investigation, had me sitting right there in front of the dean of students. It's a different story for a different day. After talking to the dean of students, he sent me back to housing where they had made a determination. In this determination, they decided, since he did indeed break into your dorm room, I'm going to reimburse you for the 2019 period. They reimbursed me what FAFSA paid for my house alongside what I paid out of pocket. That was an easy 5K right there. But the university did not stop there. They sent me over to campus police to retell the same story to campus police, because now it was becoming a real police investigation. So after I repeated it to them, they started showing up around campus trying to get information from other motherfuckers that was aware of the situation to make sure it was what I was telling them it was. After doing a full investigation, they ended up firing him from Southern's campus, but helping him get a job at Port Adams Police Department. Mind you, after he got the fuck off my phone, I got my money. I was off the situation. I was cool. Hey, my only reason for bringing this shit up now is because his weird ass wife decided she wanted to add me on all my social medias and go through old shit just laughing at shit and ha-ha and that shit, but mainly the shit in reference to after I had the rig. I don't know what her motives were, but she watched me on Snapchat literally every fucking day, so she should know that life is amazing. I really can't complain. When it comes to regrets, we all know I don't do those. Anything I did that. That's how I felt in a moment, and it's done. When he first said he was married and I went searching his social medias trying to put the clues together and I came across her page, initially I cried for this lady and I felt sorry for this lady simply because she was going through something medically. I don't remember exactly what it was, but she was literally asking people for a transplant. Like, she really needed something from somebody else in order to survive. So I literally felt sorry for that lady simply because he knew her story. One thing I ain't never liked is a disloyal motherfucker. So I was furious when I realized everything he was doing to that damn lady, despite everything she was going through at home, because he knew about that shit. But we all know women like that. Women that literally get mad at the woman and spend years harping on it instead of checking her nigga. Okay, now back to my story. Mind you, around this time, the only person that I wanted to be with was JR, but we was not together because this bitch was still running around the streets of BR doing whatever the fuck he wanted to. But we was still on some weird off and on type shit, so we was still seeing each other here and there. Okay, so after I got all the little money or whatever the case may be, I'm just saving, trying to meet my goal because, you know, come December and shit, everybody gonna have to clear out anyway because the holidays. On campus at Southern, every Wednesday, they do something called Pretty Wednesday. I wouldn't always sit around at Pretty Wednesdays to see the events outside, but I would always drop by and get JR a wing plate because he liked their wings. And it was free because I was using my financial aid, my little student ID. So on Wednesdays, typically we would meet and eat lunch together. That was just that. That was my dog. This particular Wednesday, I ended up taking him the food to his job. He asked me to go to his house and get something. I went to his house to get something, y'all. I walked in this man's house, and the first thing I see is a bitch panties on the couch, on the couch. And I see kid toys. Mind you, at this point, he ain't never told me shit about no kids. I guess he just didn't feel the need to, seeing that he didn't see a future with us. But anyway, I go in there, I get what he asked me to get, I leave. At this point, y'all already know I'm in my feelings, but I didn't even pay that shit no attention. When I got back to him with what he asked me for, he could tell something was wrong with me. So he asked me about it. I'm still trying to play it cool, like, look, I don't even want to talk about it. It's cool. He gets a little fake attitude. He gets out with the plate I just brought him, and that's that. After he get out, I pull off because I'm already going through enough. I go back on campus. At this point, I'm really in my feelings. I'm crying. It's a mess. I went straight, got in my bed, and was crying, like really crying. A few of the females that I was fooling with out the dorm was like, girl, he not for you. Just leave him alone, da da da. He don't really care about you, all this extra shit, but I was not trying to hear that. When I tell y'all the highs this man gave me, I can't even explain how much I didn't give a fuck. When he got off, he texted me and told me to come down there, and of course I took my dumb ass down there. I knew I was in love with something about that motherfucker because no matter what happened, I could not be mad at him. It's like I would be mad at him or hurt by something he did until I got in his presence. Then I was just smiling at it, and there was nothing I could do about it. I just could not resist. I remember really trying to be mad, but just smiling ear to ear, like literally trying to be mad, but just smiling ear to ear. But I ended up asking him about it. He was just basically like, yeah, that's what it was. Exactly what you saw. I'm like, okay, big. Mind you, with all this happening, I got like $6,000 and some change in my pocket because I had just got paid from McDonald's. In my head, I'm already thinking about what I want to do with the money because I'm already knowing what I'm facing. But Christmas coming up, and I just wanted to get my mom something because it was the first year that I could afford to get her something nice.
You said $6,000 for McDonald's?
I got something for Christmas. I was down to probably like $5,000 and some dollars. I basically spent $1,000 on Christmas, but I got multiple people shit, including him. I think his Christmas gift is what made him feel like something else was going on because then he was like, hold on, what you been doing? Like, are you extorting the police officer on campus? I'm looking around like, what the fuck? Because I never told him nothing about the police officer on campus. Nothing. Never mentioned it at all. And I'm not from Baton Rouge. So I was trying to figure out how the fuck did he know? Because who knew? So at this point, he just gets to talking to me crazy. Like, oh, I knew you was out here doing X, Y, and Z. I knew you was a whole da-da-da-da. Like I said, y'all, I'm a logical thinker. I fucked JR the first night I met him. So in his head, he got every reason to feel how he feeling. So I wasn't going to argue with his thoughts. I always been a logical thinker. I'm sorry. At first, I was finna try to argue with him, but his logic was there. Like, okay, you fucked me on the first night. I'm going to assume that you just fuck everybody on the first night. It's just me. But it wasn't even that. But you can't blame a motherfucker for thinking that, given that that was his experience. All I remember is him saying all that and then proceeding to remind me why I was so in love with him already. I don't think I ever get over this. Okay, y'all, so after he asked me about the stuff with the police officer on campus, of course, I just froze up and I basically was like, how you know what's going on? But I wasn't gonna lie to him. Like, I just could not lie to him. He was not one of the people that I could lie to. So, of course, he had some smart shit to say, but after he was done talking his little shit, we fucked like we always do, and that was that. We laid down for the night before 6 o'clock that morning. I was getting up, getting ready to go home, though, because he had to be to work for 6, and I had class. Mind you, school started in August. I don't know exactly what months this shit was happening, but it's not quite December yet. Okay, now at this point, a few days done passed. All I know is it's nighttime. I don't know exactly what time, but it's nighttime. I decided that I need to go to the Sunco across Scenic Highway to get me a cigar. If you ever been to Baton Rouge on Scenic Highway, you know across from the Palisades, there's 2 gas stations. One is Sunco and one, I want to say, Exxon. Anyway, I went to the Sunco. Me and JR also met at that Sunco. My bad, y'all. Somebody was calling me. Now, anyway, I pull up at this Sunco. I'm really in my phone. I'm going through my own little shit. I'm in my own world. I didn't see him, but he spotted me, and all I heard was I look up, and it was him. And all I remember this man saying to me was, I'm with a bitch. Please don't overreact. I say, all right, bro. Let my window back up. That was that. Now, this time, I was really, really mad because it's like, okay, bitch, you're steady playing in my face. I was so mad about the situation, but I didn't even do too much. I just did not communicate with him for about a week, 2 weeks. After that, I ate like that shit never fucking happened. And I know a lot of people gonna say, oh, you dumb, I would've got out then, da-da-da. Well, I'm a logical thinker, and like I said, me and my parents were already at odds because of decisions that I was making and shit they just was not supporting. Being an adult now, I understand why. But back to my story. In my mind, the way I'm processing it, I did not want to be 4 or 5 hours away from home with nobody to depend on. Regardless to what motherfuckers had to say, when I needed something, JR was dependable. Not in a sense of finances, but like when I had a flat, he would show up and change the spell. Like, I needed him. On top of all that, he made me smile. Like, still to this day, when I think about this man, I get so fucking happy. I just cannot explain. It was a surreal ass moment though, because now that I see how you out here moving, in my mind, I already know that the way I had hopes for us, it'll never be like that. So I was just enjoying what was left. Couple weeks that passed at this point, I ended up going back out to JR house. JR did not live in BR. He lived on the outskirts. I won't say exactly which city he lived in because he's probably still live there, but he lived on the outskirts, and it was probably like a 20-minute drive from campus. So I ended up going to spend the night with him one night, and this whole ride over there, I'm nervous as hell. Like, what the conversation finna be? Is he finna want to make me have to talk about what I seen at this gas station, or so we just gonna move past that shit like it never happened? Because that's what I wanted to do. Well, when I got to his house, he ended up bringing it up, but he didn't really say much about it. He just really kind of like apologized for the fact that I had to be in that situation, and then that was just that. But since I mentioned that, let me just take y'all back to like the first day me and JR met, just so y'all kind of have some background knowledge, some understanding, okay? Just like the night I saw him at the gas station with the girl, it was late at night, the night that I met him, and I was there to get a cigar. But when I went in the store, he was standing outside the store and he was like, can I get $1? Mind you, the motherfucker looked good as hell and he got on some fire-ass clothes. So in my mind, I'm thinking, this man do not need no damn dollar. But I was also thinking, like, well, you never know what people going through. Maybe he left his wallet at home, you know, I don't know what his situation is. So I didn't really respond to him on my way in the store. But when I got in the store and I got to the register to get my stuff, I stuck my head out the door and I was just like, come on, get what you was finna get or whatever the case may be. And he was like, he came out his pocket with some money or whatever. He, you know, showed it to me. And he was like, oh, I don't need no money from you. I was just trying to see what you was gonna say. Da da da. He ended up asking for my number, child. I gave him my number. I remember him coming on campus that same night. We sat in my car that same night and we just talked. I mean, we talked for hours. I instantly fell in love with JR because nobody knew what I was up against mentally when I met this man. The night I met this man, I was literally in shambles mentally. And I prayed like I had never prayed before, and I asked for very specific things. It had nothing to do with a relationship. It had nothing to do with a man. It had nothing to do with anything outside of me wanting to be able to visually see that I was on the right journey. I felt trouble in more ways than one. I know I fell in love with JR that night because when we first started talking to each other in that car, he told me everything bad about himself before he told me anything good about himself. He went on to tell me how both of his parents passed away when he was an adolescent. He also told me his stories of having to sleep on park benches and X, Y, and Z simply because his parents passed when he was an adolescent. He shared way more testimonies, but I will not go further into detail because it's not my story to tell. What I will say is everything he had to say was something that I needed to hear. I come from a 2-parent household. My parents are still to this day married, and I just feel like I was ungrateful. Compared to the trials and tribulations this man faced as an adolescent, I was blessed, and I took it for granted. I just kept thinking, if somebody who has went through this walk of life can have so much determination, so much ambition towards something, so can I. Although he had a shitty adolescent life, in his adult life, he was actually willing to work for the things that he found important. And to me, that was admirable. Okay, so boom, fast forward to the beginning of December. He hit me up and he was like, come spend the night, da da da. Of course, I packed me a little bag and I was on my way. When I first got there, he was playing the game, so I started playing with the cat. JR had a white cat. At this point, a few hours done passed. He was ready to go get some food, so we got in his car and we headed into town to get some food. JR drives really fast. So he like to take back roads. As we going up the road, like he is doing the dash, I just remember telling him, Lord, you're gonna kill me in this car. Literally, that's what I said to him. But anyway, we ended up eating Raising Cane's with the Raising Cane's, and we got us some food, and then we went back to his house. Everything was cool, fine, and dandy until we got back to his house. We started eating. He was just talking to me. He said, I think I'm finna get this job in Texas. I'm looking at him like, the fuck you mean you finna get a job in Texas? I'm already knowing what that means for me and him. So when he said that shit, it wasn't like a congratulations. It was none of that. It was more like a moment of silence. So after he said he was moving to Texas, I already knew what the fuck that meant for us. So I instantly started preparing myself to detach from the situation. Now y'all, just because I prepared myself to detach from the situation, don't mean I care any less. I don't remember what the small talk was that we had. I just know he was preparing to leave for this job and he was making preparations to do so, which means this shit was going to happen soon. Okay, so now we deep off in December and Christmas that came around. Mind you, everybody had to leave off campus, so everybody was going back home. I did not want to go back to my mom's house. It wasn't that nothing was going on bad at home. I just did not want to be there. Like, once I turned 18, I wanted to get the fuck on. I wanted to do shit my way, and I didn't really care about nothing else. That's just what I wanted. So, I went home for the holidays because I still fuck with my mom and them. Like, they still love me. I'm still finna get shit for Christmas. It's still all that. So, as I'm at home, I'm talking to him or whatever the case may be, and we were supposed to exchange gifts. So the day after Christmas, well, I actually ended up not leaving the day after Christmas because my mama bought me a car that year for Christmas. So I ended up having to wait until the day after when the DMV opened so that I can get the hard plate. Come on now, he not dumb. He know I'm in school down there. He know school is closed for the holidays, so he know I'm not going to stay nowhere else other than at his house. So I done drove way back to Baton Rouge to exchange gifts with the motherfucker, and I ended up staying with him, I want to say 2 nights. I spent the night there 2 nights, and it was cool. Fine, and then he woke up the day after that. And you know how a motherfucker hinted they ready for you to leave, like what you about to do. It was some shit like that. Like we been chilling out for the last 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker go take a bath, brush their teeth, put on clothes, come out of there like, yeah, what you about to do? Me, I don't stay nowhere I feel like I want it. Swear to God, I always been like that. I'm gonna always be like that. He said that I didn't really explain myself. I didn't elaborate on the fact that I came down here to exchange gifts with you under the impression it was never like a conversation, but I was blue. But I got my shit and I dipped. And I didn't have nowhere to go. And like I said, I did not want to go back to my mom's house. And I did not want to go back to my mom's house so much that what I did was I slept in my car. I had just got a job at Home Depot. I was not finna fuck up what I had going on because like I said, I was trying to think long term because I knew where I did not want to be. So I was gonna sleep in my car, and then I had this friend that I was telling y'all about earlier, Kai. Now me and Kai, we were still friends. Like we were still talking every day. We were still seeing each other on the regular. That's my dog. Like that was my dog, for real, for real. So I called myself making plans in my head as I go. Soon as he said, "What you doing?" my head instantly thought like, okay, how I'm gonna make this shit work? So I said, fuck it. I'll just sleep in my car. I put all my shit in my trunk. I organized my trunk really, really well. And I kept a backpack with clothes, soap, towel, toothbrush. Why? Because I knew Kyle would let me take a bath. But let me tell y'all, this how this shit worked out. And I never even had to tell him about it. Still to this day, a lot of this shit he still don't know about. I dead ass had made plans to sleep in my black Honda, which is why people always trying to get me to sell it, but I won't sell it. Their car taught me the value of $1. But when I made those plans, I started the job at Home Depot the next day. I bagged that motherfucker in at the park in Banks, and I literally was gonna sleep there. But the day that I started the job, which was the day after he asked me what you was about to do, I only slept in the car one night. I had a flat. JR was way in Plaquemine working, so I wasn't gonna call him. I posted about it on my Snapchat, and Kai seen it. And Kai ended up coming to change it. And when he went to change the spell, he seen all my shit in that trunk. And he was like, T, you finna sleep in this car? That's exactly what he said. And I was like, man, I'm just trying to get my shit together. He was like, bruh, no, then you in the dangerous part in the city. He was like, fuck no. When you get off, meet me here. And he sent me an address. When I got off that day, I went to the address that he sent me. And of course I was emotional. I was crying and everything because I was just real vulnerable. But anyway, I went there and he took me to his mama's house. By the time I got there, she had got the back room together and everything. Safe to say that I was well taken care of. Like she really, like, when I would try to give her money and stuff, like little stuff, she would not take that shit from me. Swear to God. So that's why I say, excuse me, I will always love Kai because when I ain't had nobody, I swear to God I had Kai. And I always make sure I express love for Momo and Kai because they really looked out for me. Like real shit, like they really looked out for me. And you will never hear them speak on it. Motherfuckers wouldn't know that if I would have never told them that. That's a friend. Anyway, after that, my feelings was really, really hurt. So I just kind of blocked him for a while. When he first went to Texas, I don't know if he tried to hit me up or not because he was honestly on my block list. After about a month, I started missing him, so I unblocked him, but I didn't text him. Weeks passed and I never heard from him. And then one day I was driving down Scenic, leaving the school, trying to get my housing straightened so that I could leave Momo's house and go back on campus. I never like to overstay my welcome either. Mind you, I'm still penny pinching off the money that I got from the little situation. But I'm driving down Scenic, I get a phone call from him. I answer the phone. He like, I'm just calling to let you know that I'ma always love you and I appreciate this, that, and the third. Like just expressing gratitude. I'm smiling ear to ear because I haven't heard from you. I miss you and I really was worried. I wanted to know you was okay. But after that, weeks passed and I didn't hear from him until March when he called me in distress telling me that he had a bad car accident and that he was in the hospital in Baton Rouge and that he needed me. Mind you, this is in March, the spike of COVID. So he did tell me, you can come down here right now, but you're not going to be able to come in the hospital because of COVID. He told me he was supposed to get discharged from the hospital in a couple of days and that he wanted me to come. All I know is when he called me in March, I had just got to my mama's the day he called me I literally remember packing my car up that same exact day and getting back to Baton Rouge. I was already only going to be at my mom's for probably 2 days anyway because it was a turnaround trip. I was still in the process of trying to get an apartment in Baton Rouge so I wouldn't have to keep commuting. But yeah, he called me to tell me he had that wreck and that fucked my whole world up. It'll forever be deeper than all that other shit to me because I showed up for him because I knew what it was like to have nobody. He is literally one of the people I feel like was so alone in the world. Like, I don't deem the shit he do bad because I know what he was up against in his adolescent life. Like, perspective is key to perseverance. I always sympathize with his pain for real. Seeing him like that hurt me, just knowing he didn't have nobody to call to take care of him really, other than maybe some of his baby mamas, or like his mom and his daddy was gone. So I literally rushed to him, literally. I love him that much. Before I finish where we left off, let me go ahead and reiterate the fact that I had got a job at Home Depot. I had been working at Home Depot, but I had got picked up by Baton Rouge Police Department from Home Depot, went to jail. My mama ended up coming down there, paying a little bun money to bun me out, and she didn't stay and get me though. She sent Kai to pick me up, and Kai took me to get my car because I had dropped my car off at the shop. All this is in the beginning of March, before I got the phone call that he had a bad wreck. I went to jail March 3rd to be exact. I had to think about it. Okay, so boom, now we back on track. Everything happened. He called me, tell me he had a wreck, tell me I can't come to the hospital because of COVID, all that right there. Hold on. So the day that he get out the hospital, he finally called me and let me know where he at. Of course, I rushed to him. I went over there. When I first seen him, he was in a wheelchair, so I kind of leaned over to try to give him a hug. Well, he instantly started flashing. I'm not no kid. You ain't got to do this. I'm not handicapped. Da-da-da. I'm like, I never said you was. I just was trying to make it easy for you. Not gonna lie, the way he was acting really was hurting my feelings because it was like I already felt like I had every reason to not show up, every reason to be mad, and then when I come in here, you already treated me as if you just so ungrateful. Now I'm looking at him, so I'm knowing that his injuries are probably fucking with him. I'm not knowing everything that happened, and I didn't want to just ask him like what happened because you know when something is traumatic for a person, you don't want to pull their triggers out of him. So I was waiting on him to tell me what took place on his own time. He did not mention what exactly happened that day, but I sat with him for hours that day, played the game, we talked about old stuff, and we basically, I was smiling ear to ear, promise, like I was just smiling ear to ear. He did tell me that his baby mama was paying for the room, so I knew the whole time that she was still in the picture. I didn't ask questions that I did not want the answer to, but the shit was kind of obvious. I would help him take showers, I would go get him food, and more than nothing, the companionship, because that's basically all he needed. He needed somebody to listen to him, and that's why I was so hurt later on in the story. But anyway, that little cycle repeated for weeks. He finally did open up and tell me what happened, and his story is not my story to tell, but I'm gonna sum it up anyway. What he said happened was he was in the car with another woman. She was driving, and she basically tried to run them off the road because they was having a disagreement. He also said that she passed, and so although I was mad because he was with another woman, it wasn't my place to be mad, and he needed me more as a friend than a spouse. Of course, hearing this shit hurt my feelings because it's like, okay, everything happened between us in December. It's only March now, and you just out here like, yeah, my feelings was hurt, but like I said, he needed me more as a friend, and that was really what I was trying to be, a good friend. So whatever he needed during his healing process, he cannot say whatever he asked for, he did not get. And I'm not talking about nothing monetary. I'm talking about whatever he asked for. So we did this March, April, May came around. May 8th, he texted me. He said, bring a cigar so we can smoke. Mind you, he was still at the motel. So I go get the cigar. I pull up on him so we can smoke. And I realized that he got his car back. I'm happy for him because I know how I feel to not have a car and finally get your shit back. So I'm happy for him. Now, when I seen he got the car back, I knew that was gonna mean he was gonna wanna sit in his car and smoke, so I wasn't tripping. I already knew to expect it. So I got out, I locked my car, went inside the motel. I already had an attitude because of the way he texted me, because I don't know if I still got a screenshot, but the way he texted me was kind of fucked up, so I had an attitude. I never said nothing. I just gave him the cigar. He rolled up, then we went outside. We got in his car. When we got in his car, I swear to God, y'all, I thought we was just finna sit in the parking lot and smoke, but I wasn't fucked up when he pulled off. When he pulled off, he backed out, he pulled off, everything was cool. Mind you, he was in a wheelchair, but his legs was cool, and at this point, he had been standing and walking more, so I'm thinking nothing of it, it's cool. We get on the interstate, mind you, we actively smoking. Get on the interstate, and we ride. I don't let my seat back at this point, put my legs on the dashboard. So as I'm laid back in the seat, whatever the case may be, you know how you could just feel when somebody speed up. You could tell the car picked up a rapid rate of speed, but really, really fast. So I kind of set up to kind of like see what was going on around me. When I set up and looked at the way the road was set up, I already knew we was finna crash. I'll never forget it. It was a big truck directly in front of us. It was a car beside us in the lane right beside us, and a car over in the furthest lane. The car in the furthest lane just so happened to be a car similar to his, but a few years newer. Read the room. Anybody with a car have done this at some point in their life, like tried to keep up with a car like theirs just to see if they can keep up with that motherfucker. In my head, as I'm quickly assessing the scene, all I'm thinking about is when he told me that he really felt like that girl died blaming him, and he carried that shit so heavy. He felt like she was mad at him. On God, I thought we was gonna die, but I didn't want him to think that I was mad at him. So the first thing I screamed was, "I love you." He said, "I love you too." I just remember feeling like I was sliding and telling myself to be calm because the car just started doing all types of shit. When the car finally did stop, I remember him saying, "Help me find the blunt before the police get here." I remember saying, "I can't because I can't see." I remember waiting, just waiting to feel him come get me out that car because I really couldn't see shit. And I just was waiting. After about 5 minutes of waiting, I realized that nobody was coming to get me out the car, and if I wanted to get out, I was going to have to do it myself. I wasn't even in that much pain, so I never would have imagined that my injuries were what they were. Okay, at this point, the car done already crashed. I done been sitting in the car waiting on him to help me get out. He still never came to help me get out, or I can't see what's going on around me. Keep that in mind. I don't know what was going on around me, but I know I was sitting in the passenger seat and I didn't feel anybody touching me or trying to assist me with getting out this car. So I'm sitting in the seat, but I got the seat laid back, like the seat, because remember I had my feet laid up, so the seat is kind of reclined, like it's reclined a lot though. So I'm laid back and I keep saying, okay, well, you got to get out this car because I don't know what's going on around me because I can't see. I don't know if the car is on fire. I don't know if it's smoking. I don't know what's what. I know my shoes not on my feet because I don't feel them on my feet. So I'm feeling around my feet trying to find my shoes. And I just said, F the shoes. And then I started trying to open the door. But mind you, in order to get up, I was going to have to sit up. When I went to sit up, I just fell back. So after attempting to sit up a few more times, I finally got it. But I ain't gonna lie to y'all, only one thought came to my mind. It was my little sister at her debutante ball, but I don't know why, but that was what I saw. So I finally got up. I went to reach for the door. When I grabbed the door, I heard a lady. She said, "My name is Amy. I'm a paramedic from Texas. I saw what happened, and I just want to help you." So she helped me get out the car. At this point, she get me over to wherever we were sitting, and we ended up sitting down on the side of the road. I knew we was in some grass because I could feel the grass. So out of nowhere, I just feel pressure in my face. But then she stopped and she was like, because I said, "Ah," when she did that, she heard it. So I said, "Ah," and then she was like, "Can you get your hair out of your face?" Mind you, I had a wig on, so I slit the wig on the side and took it off. I'm not in that much pain when she not touching me, but when she touched me, all of a sudden I'm in pain. So I done got snappy with the lady. I'm like, "What you doing?" She said, "I'm putting a shirt on your wounds to stop the bleeding." I'm like, "Is the shirt clean?" She like, "It's as clean as me, baby. It's the shirt off my back, but you need to stop the bleeding." So I said, okay. She kept doing that, and a few minutes later, the paramedics showed up. Now, when the paramedics got there, they just kept asking me a number of questions like, what's my name, where I'm at, what's the date is, what city I'm in, stuff like that. And they just kept asking me that repeatedly. Like, they asked me that so many times, and then they kept saying, "Who my emergency contact?" So I'm telling them my mama, but I know it's the middle of the night, so I keep telling them, "Don't y'all call my mama, let me call my own mama." And they was like, "No, but you need to give us the number, da-da-da." Mind you, I can't see what they see, so I'm not knowing it's that bad. But at the time, because I'm not in pain, I'm not expecting my injuries to be this bad. So they stay right there to give us the number, da-da-da. Mind you, I can't see what they see, so I'm not knowing it's that bad. But at the time, because I'm not in pain, I'm not expecting my injuries to be this bad. So they stay right with my emergency contact. So I'm telling them my
Trying to see
mama,
what
but I
that
know it's the
look.
middle of the night. So I keep telling them, don't y'all call my mama, let me call my own mama. And they was like, no, but you need to give us the number, da-da-da. Mind you, I can't see what they see, so I'm not knowing it's that bad. But at the time,
Oh, damn.
see what they see, so I'm not knowing it's that bad. But at the time,
Oh, damn. Ooh.
I'm not expecting, but at the time, knowing it's that bad.
Oh, golly, it's toe up.
Because I'm not knowing it's that bad.
Ooh.
But at the time, because I'm not in pain, I'm not expecting my injuries to be this bad. So they stay right there for a little minute, asking me out there. I remember I had on a purple NBA Youngboy hoodie because my brother bought me the hoodie. That's the first thing my brother ever bought me. I love the fuck out that hoodie. I wore that hoodie every day. So she started telling me she was finna cut my hoodie. I'm like, no, I'll take it off. Don't cut my hoodie. She like, baby, you cannot cut. You cannot take this hoodie off. And so she cut the hoodie. I'm laying here, can't see shit, but got an attitude because she cut my hoodie. It's crazy. Now, but this is what we going through. Anyway, after that, I hear his voice, and they say, "Are you going with her?" This motherfucker say no, but here go her phone and here go her shoes. It was at that moment that my heart just broke. That's kind of when I just laid back and just stopped fighting it. Like I was like, you know what, fuck it, let the medicine kick in, because I did not just hear that. I don't remember much about the ride from the scene to the hospital. I just remember being inside the ER and hearing a bunch of doctors talking over me, but I couldn't see what was going on. I could just hear voices. So I'm hearing one of them, and I know one of them said, she won't live to see 3 o'clock. And then I heard another one say, well, if we do something, he said a nuclearation or something like that. He was like, if we do that, we might just have a chance. But mind you, we in the ER. They're just standing around me having this conversation. So in my head, I'm really panicking, but then I'm telling myself, don't panic. Y'all, I swear to God, I don't think people die from their injuries. I think they die from neglect or like shit just not being done in a timely fashion, because what? After that, all I remember is waking up and a doctor telling me, well, you lost your right eye completely. And I thought I opened it and looked around, and I was like, no, I didn't. Stop playing, I could see. And the whole time he wasn't playing. I really wasn't even worried about that though. I asked that man, I was like, what JR? He was like, oh, the person you had to break with, we don't know. But he was like, well, you've been in communication with your mom. And then he ended up putting my mama on the phone. I ended up talking to my mom and my daddy. And I know it was Mother's Day, which was May 10th. There was that Sunday. But anyway, I ain't never heard my mom and them cry like that. But then I asked my mama and my dad if they'll call JR. My mama got mad off rip. She's like, why the fuck you want to talk to him or whatever the case may be? But I definitely wanted to talk to him. Then he had already lied to my mama and them, so I was already like wondering, why the fuck would you lie to him? So I ended up asking my daddy to call, because my mom was like, fuck that, I'm not calling. My dad ended up calling him for him, and I talked to him, and he was just like, I'm so sorry, I thought you wouldn't want to talk to me. And I was like, why would I want to talk to you? Like, I was in the car with you, I know it was an accident, I'm not mad at you, that's what I said. And right then and there, I started making so many excuses for him, and I felt better. I was like, so he didn't just abandon me, he didn't just leave me, he was a trigger response, like a trauma response. Like, I don't know. Some people have that fight or flight mentality, and when he seen my face, I showed it to y'all, when he seen my face, I feel like he felt like my fight was over. So he mentally shut down, and it was just too much for him. That's what I instantly started thinking. Mind you, it's me, him, and my dad on 3-way. So he on the phone, and he like, I'm so sorry, if I could take this day back, I promise I would. He was like, when you get out of the hospital, I'm gonna be right there, and I'm gonna do everything for you, da-da-da-da. So what I did was, the next day, y'all already done told me I lost my eye. I can't see the scar, so I'm still not knowing how bad the shit really is. So I went ahead and signed myself out the hospital because I was trying to be with JR. Like, I swear to God, I don't know what it is about that man, but I love him down. And I don't think that shit gonna never change. Mind y'all, early in the story, I told y'all my phone was so broken and beat up that the phone kept cutting off and cutting back on. I know because the doctors was telling me. Because once I woke up, I was trying to get them to get in my phone so I could just tell Siri to do everything for me. Fast forward to the next day, the day that I was set to go home, because I signed the paperwork for me to go home saying that I was signing myself out that night. They still didn't release me until that next morning. It was gonna take my mom them 2 minute hours to get there, so I called Kai. Well, I think my mama ended up calling Kai. Somebody called Kai. When Kai got to the hospital to get me, I had him take a picture of my face, and I had him send the picture to JR. In my head, I'm thinking, show him how it look now, so he don't walk in and be surprised by what he see. The doctor done already explained to me that it's bad, so I'm already knowing it can't be too good. So I'm just trying to brace him, right? Because he said he was gonna be there. He was gonna do everything for me, right? And that's why I fucked up.
Dude.
Kai,
I don't even want to show that
he took
one.
it like, look at what you did to my sister. So I signed myself out of the hospital. Kai and his papa come pick me up, and my mama and my dad and my little sister ended up meeting me back in my apartment. I forgot to mention to y'all, the night that JR texted me and said, get a cigar and come smoke. Before I left to go to the cigar, Kai, his brother, and one of his cousins was already in my apartment because we were supposed to take a trip to Shreveport. So when I left to take him to cigar and to go smoke, I was supposed to come back, and when I got back, we were supposed to hit the road. So it's a lot of stuff that didn't happen over the weekend that I had no idea about. Anyway, as soon as I get to my apartment, I'm trying to have somebody to call JR. Mind you, my phone is broken and it keeps shutting on and off. So I finally convinced Kai to call JR. I'm sitting on the phone talking to JR. Mind you, I cannot see shit. We sitting there talking. I'm telling him that I'm at home thinking that he's finna come to me, right? But when I sent him the picture, it fucked it up, I guess. I left home on Friday to go smoke with him. I didn't know in between Friday and Sunday, Kai had went to the motel in which he was staying looking for me and asking him questions like, what my sister did. When he realized that Kai is there, he instantly started retracting on his words. He like, oh, everybody around you is threatening me. I'm scared. You just need to heal first. Da da da. Y'all, my head was wrapped literally like a mummy. But I'm sitting on the side of the bed, I'm on Kai's phone, and I'm apologizing to this man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what they saying to you don't really have nothing to do with me. Communication ended up just stopping. What I will say is I had Kai. From helping me take a bath, to cooking my food, to helping put my clothes on, taking me to the doctor's appointment, picking up my medicine, grocery shopping for me, making sure my bills got paid. Despite my mama sending the money for my bills, that's who handled my business. Kai always be good in my book and can get anything from me. Anyway, Kai and his girlfriend ended up moving in so that I would not be alone. After JR went AWOL, I was really sad, and I was really depressed about the situation. I felt like I lost everything for nothing. I put myself through hell at the cost of love just to end up walking away empty-handed, or so that's how I felt. I remember just sitting in the bed crying one day, and I guess Kai called my mama, and he ended up bringing me the phone. He was like, it's your mama. And when I got on the phone, her exact words was, baby, you've got to get up. If I could do this for you, I would, but I can't. And it was at that moment I knew, despite my personal feelings, I owed it to her to figure out how to be okay. Everything my mama had ever said made sense the night I had that read. I put everybody before myself and I ended up hurt. So I had to figure out how to be okay so that the people around me did not suffer too. On that same phone call, she said, peace be still. So I got out of my own way. I got out of my head and I stopped worrying about shit I couldn't control. Although I wanted to do these things gracefully, I was in pain mentally, physically, and spiritually. I was very angry. Me and Kai are literally the same age, and seeing him put his life on hold for my mistakes, it angered me. He didn't owe it to me to put his life on hold to be there for me, and I didn't like the fact that he was doing that. Kai blamed himself for that night. He kept saying, man, I should have never let you go. I should have never let you go. I love JR so much that me and Kai would have literally got into it had he tried to stop me from going. So I kept telling him, it's not your fault, stop blaming yourself, da da da, but he was still blaming himself. Safe to say, because I was so angry, I ended up snapping on Kai, so he ended up leaving after a few weeks. When I say leaving, I mean just leaving my house, not leaving my life. I won't lie to you, that too broke my heart because it was like, damn, I was literally losing everybody around me that I cared about. In regards to my friends though, I lost them on my own accord, simply because I didn't want them to feel responsible for taking care of me because it wasn't their responsibility. The one person I wanted to show up for me was nowhere to be found. So I was literally just very upset. Like I was mean and nasty with everybody that was showing up because they wasn't who I wanted to show up. When JR disappeared, a part of me did too. And since he couldn't show up, I didn't want nobody to. When it was time for my stitches to come out of my good eye, my mom and my dad ended up coming back down there and they took me to that doctor's appointment themselves. Mind you, the night of the wreck, I drove my car to his motel and ended up in a car with him. So while my mama was down there, they had to figure out how to get my car from the motel back to my house. So my mama took my dad to my car, and my daddy drove my car from over there to back to my house. But because I lost my car keys in the wreck, they ended up having to call a locksmith to make a key as well. They tried to convince me to move back in with them, but the life that I was building for myself was in Baton Rouge, and they was way in Minden. I didn't want to do that. Now, my mom and my dad came to take me to a doctor's appointment to get the stitches took out. The doctor in which took the stitches out, which was Dr. Woods, and he was also my eye doctor for a few years, he just felt like I was taking it way too well and that I needed to see somebody for my mental health. I declined those services and his advice, so he ended up getting on the phone with Dr. Euler, which was my pediatrician, and asking Dr. Euler if he thought I was okay, because he said I was just taking it way too well, which forced Dr. Euler to make me an appointment, and I had to end up leaving Baton Rouge, come way to Minden to see Dr. Euler. Mind you, I have suffered from mental illness in my adolescent life. So Dr. Euler is the one that would know. And I guess when they looked at my charts, they seen that Dr. Euler was the one that would know. I ended up seeing Dr. Euler like 2 weeks later. Dr. Euler was like, well, she's fine. I talked to him. I told him exactly how I felt. I even cried to him, and I told him exactly why I felt how I felt. And like I said, he cleared me. He said I was fine, which I was. I just had a lot to process. As far as JR, I kept begging him to answer his phone, begging him to come see me, and I really wasn't getting nothing out of that shit. Until one day I called my mama boohoo and just bawling. And I said, Mama, is he not talking to me because I'm ugly now? And when I say she lost it, she fucking lost it. I know she went off because hours later, I heard from him with everything that she had said. All I know is whatever she said persuaded his next moves, because he let me know that he was making time to see me soon. And that was enough for me. I know for a fact the first time I seen his face after the wreck was July 1st of 2020. We had the wreck May 8th of 2020. The first time I laid my eye on him was July 1st of 2020. And he had me meet him at his sister's house. We met, and as soon as I got out the car, I remember him crying. I remember him looking in my face. I remember him apologizing. I remember him rubbing my spot. I just remember a lot. You could tell that he never meant for any of this shit to happen. You could tell that he regretted that shit, and you could tell that it fucked with him mentally. When JR hugged me, it's like everything else just vanished. I felt some sort of relief. I was at peace. We stood there and talked for hours. We ended up going to get food and some old shit, but then it was back to the same old shit. Well, I talked to him for a few days, and then I wouldn't hear from him. Same old cycle. I forgot to mention the key factor here. A few days after I got out the hospital, mind y'all, I told y'all my phone was broke. But a few days after I got out the hospital, I got a phone call from the jail. I already knew who this call was from, and I wanted to take this call. Y'all, as soon as I hit one to accept the phone call, the voice on the other side said, we need to talk. And I already knew what the fuck that meant. That me and my man was finna get ready to come home, and he wanted to know if I wanted my family back. If you knew anything about me in high school, you know I love Michael down. Anyway, because the phone was broke, soon as he said we need to talk, the phone just shut off. And because I had been hanging up in his face and all type of little shit the whole time he was in jail, Joseph, it didn't make it no better, because it made it seem like those were my intentions, and it wasn't. Mind you, the only reason we was at us anyways because I wasn't josing him financially. I was just a kid. I could not afford to do that shit. He wasn't that much older than me, but we'll get into that later. But when the phone hung up, I never heard from him again, and I already knew what the fuck that meant. That meant he was over that shit, and that he was never coming back. So I said to myself, damn, I literally came out here, did all this, went through all this, to lose both of them in the end, because Michael knew about the situation that I had going on in Baton Rouge. He just always said when he came home that shit was over. So when I say double heartbreak, I mean double heartbreak. I didn't get to tell him about my injuries. I didn't get to tell him nothing because he never called back. If I could have seen how to write him a letter, I probably would have did it. And because my mama really didn't care for him, she was not gonna help me do that shit. It came time for me to move. Like, my lease ended with one apartment, and it was time for me to move to the next apartment. I don't know what the communication was like, but I do know that he did show up. He did mount my TVs. He did do like the wiring so they wouldn't be across the floors for my TVs. He like stapled them to the wall and stuff like that. Anyway, he just helped me get my apartment to where it needed to be. Then after that, you know, he was just pretty much in and out. Like he just used to check up on me here and there, but he really wasn't much communication. One day I just made up in my mind that I was tired of going through that shit. Despite loving him and da-da-da-da, I found a way to move on. And y'all know what they say. The quickest way to get over one is another. Or so I thought. The problem with that is they could not duplicate this. That shit was never going to work. Like, he was literally always on my mind because they just could not get that part right. I crave him in that department. Like, oh my God, if you ever come across him, fuck him with me. I ain't even ashamed to say it, because if you had it, you know. And if you haven't, try it. Just don't get addicted like I did. Anyways, he would still check up on me, and I was still heavy in my feelings about the man. So when I would get around him, and it'd be like everything was perfect, I would be smiling ear to ear. And like I said, when he hugged me, everything just disappeared anyway. So we would just have a good time, and it never be that. But then I would always know, once I leave from with you today, I probably not see you for a few months. And I hated that shit, but it was so true. But when we see each other, it just be all love. So I don't know, that shit is crazy to me. But having a person always expressing their love for you and then still going AWOL and disregarding your feelings is really mind-fogging, or at least it was to me. But again, I went ahead and started fucking with somebody else just to make up for the time that he was not spending. A few weeks into my new situation, this motherfucker wants me to meet his mama, but I keep telling him, like, nah, I don't want to meet your mama, because in my mind, this shit ain't gonna last long, because I was still focused on JR. Somehow, some way, I end up meeting the mama, and we end up spending hella time together. Like, we just end up always being together. Until one day we was just sitting at the mama house, and her whole family was there. Like, all her kids, all their girlfriends, all their kids, like, everybody was there. So I done fucked around and met the whole family at this point. Was not trying to do that. So me and the sister-in-law and her cousin, we decided we're gonna go to the South and have some drinks. Well, they invited me to go with them. So I'm like, fuck it, let's just go. We get to the house in the South. I'm realizing that the girl cousin stayed right across the street from JR's sister. So now I'm confused, and I'm really in my feelings, because bringing me down here ain't did shit but made me miss my man. We supposed to be at the Decory shop on Lee Drive. Anyway, now we right across the street from his sister house. They keep asking me, girl, what happened to your face? Da, 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 da. Like, what happened? So I give them the rundown, tell them what took place, what happened, how I got this far. Nobody said nothing. Everybody was just like, damn, this fucked up, da, 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 da. Fast forward to the next motherfucking day, I'm sitting at the sister-in-law house, her and her boyfriend. I'm sitting at their house with the nigga that I talk to now, right? Why the fuck I get a phone call from JR and they say, why you over there hanging with them bitches? I hope you know Paris' last baby for me. Like, as he telling me this shit, we sitting in Paris' living room, so I went the fuck off. It's me, the boy that I had just started talking to. It was her dude, and some of her kids. I said, girl, I will beat the fuck out you in here. Why JR just called me, text me, da da da, and tell me that your last baby for him? She say, huh? What? Huh? Them kids got the phone, da da da. I'm like, fuck the phone, nigga, not worry about the phone. Is that your BD or not? Do you know him or not? Mind you, everybody's still sitting in the living room, but I'm going off at this point because that's my stinker. Anyway, I'm like, fuck that. Let me see your phone. If y'all ain't got nothing going on, let me see your phone if I can go through these motherfucking messages. Because if his number in this phone, I know him. He ain't lying. If he done fucked you, he gonna say he fucked you. If he ain't fucked you, he ain't finna say he fucked you. So I get the motherfucking phone. She had to text him happy Thanksgiving and some more shit, but didn't ever get no text back. I said, so now you gonna see him act like you don't know this man, but y'all have had some type of communication. She was like, basically just making small talk, but I was mad. At this point, her dude done got up because he's mad now. You in here with my brother, but you going off about another nigga, and you over here fucking with another nigga. He was just going off. He was calling their mama, telling them what was going on, getting his guns out, shit like that. I didn't care because I was heated. So I'm still in here, and I'm still on Paris' neck. Like, I'm like, bitch, you knew me before you knew me. Because if it wasn't on no sneaky shit, when we was in the South last night and you asked what happened to my face and I told you, you could have easily mentioned the fact that you and that man knew each other, but you didn't. So that same night that we ended up having that conversation, he told me, he was like, pull up at my house, we need to talk. So I took, because I had the nigga dog that I had just started talking to, I had his mama dog with us. So I took her dog back to her house, then I pulled up on JR. So I pulled up on JR after everything done happened, right? And he on my ass. He begged me to stop fucking with them people. His exact words were, I'm telling you, them people knew you before they knew you. He told me that them people didn't have my best interest at heart and that he wanted me to get myself out of them situations so that I wouldn't get hurt again. He sat down and he explained to me the reason for his absence once again. He said he felt like a black cloud was surrounding him and he didn't want me to get hit by it no more. And that's when he was like, don't think I don't want to spend time with you. I don't want to be around you. I just don't want you to get hurt because of me again. But he kept alliterating the fact that those people knew me before they knew me. So now we're getting into the tea, whatever the case may be, because I'm interested in knowing if this baby yours or not for real. So he get on Facebook, he go to their messages together. He showed me the message from when this bitch was in the hospital. Then what's crazy, me and the girl got the same exact birthday. Same exact birthday. But anyway, he started showing me the messages. The first thing I seen the messages is the day that she had the baby. Oh, excuse me. But the day that she had the baby, first thing she did after pushing the baby out her coochie is send him a picture. Come on now. You're not sending nobody a picture straight after you had your baby, like right after, unless you feel like they the daddy too. So y'all know at this point, I am pissed. But when I'm around JR, I swear to God, I cannot be mad. I just be there. One thing about me though, if I'm angry, you best believe I'm gonna find somebody to take it out on. Or at least that's how it was. I can't take my anger out on the people that I love. So if you give me a reason to take it out on you, I'm going to do just that. He really didn't give a fuck about that baby situation. He was more so concerned with the fact that he felt like he knew me first and he was telling me don't trust them people and he wanted me to get the fuck away from them people. This the first time since the wreck that he acted as if he gave a fuck about what I did romantically. So I was feeling that. Perspective is key to perseverance though, because that ain't even what he meant. With everything he was saying, I took it as, okay, this whole time I've been going through what I've been going through because of the wreck, you really ain't gave a fuck about my feelings or really just checking on me for real. But now all of a sudden I move on, I'm talking to somebody else and you know I'm sleeping with somebody else, and so suddenly you so concerned for me and trying to make decisions for me. That's how I took it. And I took it as you just don't want to see me move on. So I was gonna keep talking to the boy because I really didn't give no fuck. He already knew me and him was not in a relationship yet. He knew I was still stuck on him. I didn't lie. So we had that understanding, which is why I didn't understand why his brother was mad. But perspective is key to perseverance, because his brother didn't know that we wasn't in a relationship yet. We was just fucking. My heart was definitely still with JR though. Now this whole week I had been staying with the boy and he was staying with his mama anyway. So when I finally did leave JR house, because it was late that night when I left. When I finally did leave, I went to their shit to get my shit in all actuality. But when I got there, he was like, I think we just need to take a break for now. I'm already knowing that ain't him talking, it's his brother, but at this point, I don't give a fuck. So I was like, okay, cool. I grabbed my stuff and I went home. Mind you, all of this happening before I get my prosthetic. So my face still got a bunch of open scars on it, a lot of scabs, and one of my eyes missing. This around the time I created the GoFundMe to get my prosthetic. People from Twitter had started donating, so I was literally making progress. If you try to make me feel some type of way, even if I gotta hurt myself to make you feel some type of way, that's what's gonna be done. Keep in mind, while all this is happening, I am 19. I was born April 28, 2001. One thing I have always known is that once my presence is removed completely, it will be missed. By the end of that week, the GoFundMe had already hit a good 15,000. I did not trust myself with that kind of money. So what I did was, I asked my mama. I'm like, Mom, can I put your name on the account or whatever the case may be so the money can come to you? Mind you, I had just moved in a new apartment, which means I knew I had bills coming up and I needed to find me a fucking job. So that's what I did. Out on Indeed, I did me a job application for Crumble Cookie on Segan. They hired me in literally no time, and I don't even remember how long I worked there, but I love that job because it was literally just a juice. But I did meet some amazing people, some in which I still talk to this day. Nobody really knew I was working, but I was on good terms with everybody at this point. I was going to JR house more often, so I was happier. I was still talking to the boy like off and on, but we just wasn't on no serious shit. Like we still communicated though. Fast forward to December. Didn't too many people in BR have my number. So one day I'm just minding my business and my phone started ringing, but it's a 225 number, just like a random number. So I answer the phone. It tell me it's the jail. It wasn't December, it was November. But anyway, I answer the phone, it's the jail and it's JR. Y'all really finna call me dumb now. Y'all, this man got on my phone and told me that he went to jail in the parking lot because he was arguing with a bitch. And somebody he pushed her, he did something to her. And other people saw it and the police ended up being involved in because he did whatever they said he did or whatever the case may be, he ended up in jail. He said he had the money in his Capital One account. They just wouldn't let him use his wallet to do it. He asked me if I would burn him out and he said that he would give me my money back. So I get up immediately. Y'all know me, I love JR down, so of course I'ma do it. I went to the buns man, but when the lady gave me the price for the bun, I was basically like, there's no way I'm going, because she told me I could pay a percentage, and that she kept telling me your name will be on this, but I'm not doing it. I just had to go ahead and pay it in full because I'm not putting my name on no bond that's not paid, because they're not coming looking for you at my house. So I brought him out of jail. We leave there. I don't even remember where we went exactly after I knew it was the bank. I still didn't give a fuck. My dumb ass was just smiling ear to ear. Fast forward to a few weeks later, I'm minding my business. Once again, my phone say ring, 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 ring. I answer my phone, it's Paris. The same bitch that took me to the South knowing that this was my situation and acting like she didn't know me. But anyway, she called me. She's going on and on about how she see JR over there in Banks or whatever the case may be at the car wash, and how he doing this, that, and the third, and how she think I should pull up. Well, my dumb ass felt the same way. I felt like, yep, I should pull up. I got in my motherfucking car. I drove from Jefferson Highway to motherfucking Banks. I seen him. He was looking good as fuck too, y'all. He wasn't even on no drama. He was just like, he even came and it pissed me off so bad. He came and he gave me some Za, but he had it in his hand and he put it in my hand. Because she had just told me what he was doing and what he had going on, I was already blue. Soon as he put it in my hand, I finished crumbling it up, and then I put my hand out the window and I opened it and watched that shit fly in the wind. So like I said, y'all, he put that Za in my hand. I followed that shit up and opened my hand and looked at shit fly away just like that. You could tell he was trying to keep his composure, but you could also tell that really, really, really pissed him off. I actually got a video to insert from that day. Hold on.
I fuck real good. Put that on camera. Hey, you pussy good. But you 30. You 30 and ain't got shit. I bet you in the fucking dance thing now. You ain't never take care of me. Stop playing. You couldn't even feed yourself, Jay. Call me over here. Call me over here.
And y'all, I had been hurt, sad, confused, and love. All this shit within a matter of months. So seeing him like that really did not bother me. I didn't feel bad, none of that. So I just let the window up and I sat there for a little while. When I let that motherfucking window up, y'all, he punched her shit, punched her shit, punched her shit. Left a big ass star in her mirror, her window, her windshield. So yeah, y'all, after he punched the window, mind y'all, my car is parked behind her car. After he punched the window, of course she get mad. She could have said, because he breaking my stuff, da-da-da. I'm like, but don't you pull off, because my car back there. So I get out the car, mind y'all, I'm already thinking, when I get out the car, he gonna put his hands on me. He did not put his hands on me. I get out the car, I walk to my car, whatever the case may be. He's still trying to talk to me. He's still saying little stuff to me. But you know what I'm saying? I get on in my car and I leave and serve my purpose for the day. I forgot to mention to y'all, when he told me he was in jail, he also had one of his baby mamas calling my phone. Now the baby mama that he had calling my phone, he had me thinking this girl was just crazy, delusional, and she was just deep in her feels for him, and he didn't want her like that. You know what I'm saying? So looking back, knowing all that I know now, I know he probably be telling motherfuckers the same shit about me, and it's never been the case. But yeah, baby mom was cool at first, but then she got on my phone and she was trying to get up under my feelings with certain shit that she was asking me. I'm not gonna lie on the lady because I don't remember exactly what she was asking me. I just know she was trying to be funny. I remember asking her, I was like, who you talking about, my husband? And she was like, wait, y'all married? I was like, yeah, this is my husband. Mind you, we was not married, that wasn't my husband. I just knew how to piss her off. But the information that he was giving me, I just felt like she was a weirdo already. And the whole time, I'll never know who was lying, who was telling the truth. But anyway, after that little situation right there, he definitely did get where I was coming from. Because that's what I said, like, 2 or 3 weeks later, he hit me up. He wanted me to meet him at the library. I think I already told y'all this part, but I'm going to reiterate. He wanted me to meet him at the library. When I met him at the library, he had me a gift basket. In that bag, there were a pair of slippers, socks, flowers, a card, and some money. Mind you, JR had never bought me nothing in my life. So I was smiling ear to ear because finally, after everything you did to me, you're acknowledging the feelings that I do have. He sat me down and once again, he told me exactly how he feel about me, why he feel the way he feels, da-da-da-da, and why he's fucked up and why he made fucked up decisions. We rode around the city of BR for a couple hours, and then he took me back to my car. I got in my car, I went home. Of course, I was smiling ear to ear because he was finally showing up for me in the ways that I wanted him to. Like, I did not. After the wreck, I kind of realized that we would never be
JR ain't shit.
Because I would never forget that. I will never unfeel how alone I felt after that. So it was kind of like a closure moment. Like, okay, now that I know all this, and you're finally acknowledging my feelings, we can move on. Mind y'all, I'm telling y'all, the only reason why I feel in love with this man because he got something good. 10 out of 10, I highly recommend. Anyways, now I'm thinking we working towards, just going ahead closing this chapter of our lives out because everybody got the closure they need. Y'all, why this man end up taking me to his house one of these days? And Lord, it's for sure safe to say that I was in love with this man all over again because in the beginning I was scared to speak on certain stuff because I wanted him to be a part of my life. At this point, like I told y'all, I felt like everybody had got the closure they needed, the answers they was looking for, whatever the case may be. So I had to honestly start telling motherfuckers how I felt, why I felt how I felt, and shit like that. Now, with me doing all that or whatever the case may be, it just made the relationship real awkward. And I knew it wasn't going to last long because we was always bumping heads because at this point I was really telling motherfuckers how I felt in regards to how they was treating me. On top of that, that's just like when he got on the internet and he was popping it about the lawsuit or whatever as if he did not know. I know my heart and I know who I am as a person, especially to those I love. Whenever my mama let me know that she hired a lawyer on my behalf to make sure I was straight forever because of my injuries, I went to him and I sat down and I told him exactly what was what. And I even let him know that you can get in on the money too, whatever the case may be. He wasn't fucking with it. He flashed simply because I was suing him. In order to sue forward, I had to sue his insurance company. So he felt like it was a direct attack on him. And he used it as an excuse to play in and out of my life, and I didn't like that. So I started speaking up on that, and it just caused a lot of problems in our relationship.
What it do, everyday people, man? It's your boy PJ. Today we back with another lit video. Back in the confessional, and yes, we staying lit, big dog. Shout out to my everyday people who rock with me every day. Shout out to my player partner, Lucky Wilson. Deals your boy keeps it lit. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Hit the links down below. Hey man, follow Gaming with PJ, man. Hit that link below, man. We're gonna do a giveaway. We're gonna do my giveaway at 1,000. When I get 1,000 subscribers on that channel, okay, we're gonna do the next giveaway. Y'all heard me? Y'all already know. I already got a few people already, so you gotta follow me on on Gaming with PJ. Hit that link. Show me that you follow that page to get entered into the giveaway, okay? And you gotta follow me on Instagram. That's how you send me the screenshot on Instagram. Everyday thing with PJ. Alright, on Instagram. Now let's get into it, man. Oh, hit the links down below. We got HiveMindLabs.com and we got Moog's Coffee. Alright, Moog's Coffee, where you can get your coffee today. I mean, you don't get it today, but you order it, you know what I'm saying? You get it fast and on delivery, you know what I'm saying? Use the discount code everydaypj at checkout, man, you know what I'm saying? Let's get into it, big dog. Man. Woo! This story it took forever to get through. It was ups and downs, and I was just like, first, I was just like, oh, this is about this. And then I was like, oh, this is about her wreck. Then I was like, oh, this is about toxic. I felt, I had so many different emotions through the story. It was just about her being taken advantage of, and I thought she was about to come up and show how she got all this money, and then it was about the wreck, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is a good story. Then it was about her crashing out over this fool, and I was just like, girl, you done made me love you and hate you all in the same story. Like, damn, just a fool. Shout out to I Am Terica. She is a good storyteller, though. I ain't lying. She had me glued. I was just like, ooh, but them injuries. Ooh, I didn't even want to show that second one. Like, I had to pinpoint that one. And then the second one, it was horrible. Y'all could go find it and just pause it and look at it. I was like, ugh. Yeah. Hell no. Girl, I would have left JR's ass so fast. What is you talking about? He didn't left you like that and just bounced. And then when I seen him, I was like, yep. In a Crown Vic. Come on. That is a Negro car. And I ain't a nickel car, okay? Okay, that's a nickel car, okay? With the hubcap missing, yes. With the little center cap missing, oh, yes. Negro car. Okay, 5.0 engine, yes, I understand. He probably, I don't know what y'all crashed in, but you know, that's what he was trying to keep up with, another Crown Vic. Oh, that's a 2000 Crown Vic. I got the 98. I'm trying to keep, man, get your goofy ass. Oh my God. Then I seen him, I was just like, bro, you crashing out over this dude, man. Come on, man. This dude got kids everywhere. You know what I'm saying? All over BR. Shout out to Baton Rouge, man. It's just like y'all got a lot of stuff going on down there. Jesus Christ. And then this is probably the biggest story in Baton Rouge right now. This is the biggest story. I bet that cop is sitting over there punching at the air right now, him and his wife, because they just salty that they business just all out there in the streets. They caught a stray off of your story. The moral of the story, we didn't forgot about them. Everybody forgot about the cop and his wife. She was like, the only reason why I'm telling this is because she just popped up on my social media. So we got to tell her part too. Look, and then she talked about how she met JR. And I guess really the first story had nothing to do with the rest of the story. It was just like... It was just the cop caught a straight because his wife was being messy. Okay, that's what's wrong with your wife. You know, she got the man, now she want to keep playing, and now her business is out there in the street. Why your ass got fired from your school job, and how you got hired on as a police officer over there or wherever she said. Goof ass. Anyway, that was crazy, man. I was really rooting for her, and I was sad. And I was like, oh man, Kai is the man. I was like, Kai. But then immediately, after I wanted to cry and give Kai a hug and be like, man, you a good ass friend, big dog. You a good ass friend. I wanted to cuss the hell out of Terica for what the why are you chasing this man? And then you got a new boyfriend, and now you about to fight his sister because she the JR's baby mama. Like, what is going on, Terica? What is going on? What are we doing? Literally about to fight the JR's baby mama, which is her boyfriend's sister. You can't make this. This is one of them stories you cannot make this up. In fact, I'm gonna title this. I was about to fight my boyfriend's sister because she was my ex's baby mama or something like that. I don't know. But that, you know, I'm like, that wasn't in the story. I don't give a damn. It was in the story. You just didn't pay attention. Y'all was so caught up in all the everything else that happened in the story. I wanted to see who got cheated on. Oh my gosh. Literally, we got like 4 stories in one, okay? Like, man. And it kind of ended like in a cliffhanger, but it ended because there's really no more. She got to the point of her story time was how she was dangerously in love with JR, and I'm talking about in love with JR to the point where, you know, she was crashing out. She lost everything, friends, you know, car, almost her life, like everything, losing everything just over this. Ugh. Then when she argued with him, talking about, you stink. What? But he came over and gave me some of that. So you licked his sweaty balls. Okay, I'm done. This story time is over with. And if he came back right now, please move on, sister. I pray. I'm glad you made it out okay, and things are looking up for you. And everything that you got going on is you about your business. You get down through there, but don't get digmatized again, because it's very costly. It's very, very costly. Anyway, everyday people, let me know what y'all think about this crazy situation in the comment section. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna holler at you later. Peace.
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as quick as 1 week.